All right, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. Thank you again for joining us.
السلام
We're
ورحمة الله
excited.
وبركاته.
This is a new format of these workshops. So, inshallah ta'ala, we're looking forward to your feedback. We have also members of our group, alhamdulillah, not from Raleigh. So, that's also exciting. And we're hoping to have this amazing multi-state group, inshallah, going together for this amazing journey in Ramadan. And may Allah SWT accept from us. Again, thank you for taking the time to join us. These are crucial workshops, and I'm pretty sure after these are done, I know it will be a lot of information today. However, once they're done, you will feel much better in logistics and your umrah. And so when you are in Medina and Mecca, inshallah, it will be much, much more relaxed, and you will be able to focus a lot on your spirituality there. And this is again the reason we try to do these workshops now, so your experience on the ground is smooth, and inshallah ta'ala you'll see what I'm talking about when you go through these. So this workshop is divided into two parts. The first part is the spiritual Umrah workshop, which will be led by Imam Muamar, our religious leader for the group, and our Imam, of course, of IR, and for the Umrah package itself. And after that, we will take a break, a short break, and then we will finish the logistics, which is the slide deck that I had sent already. Both of these slides will be provided to you after the workshop and the recording itself. So without further ado, let's jump in because we are short on time, and we don't want to take a lot of your time today. I know 3 hours is a lot, but we'll try to get you finished by 8:30, 8:45, inshallah. Let's see. Even if it's 8:59, it's still better than 9. All right.
تمام.
So, Sheikhna will pass it on to you, and Bismillah.
اوكي ان شاء الله. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سيدنا ونبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. I am honored, of course, to be part of this blessed group to take you all to Umrah along with my dear brother Hassan. So, inshallah ta'ala, we will start with the intention that we want to do this. Of course, we're crossing the ocean, we're going out of our comfort zone, all for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, because this is a worship act, we tend to study it in order for you to do this worship act in accordance to the Quran and Sunnah, very similar to what you do in Salah. As you try your best to have your Salah is done right, the right way, and your fast the right way, we do Umrah and we do Hajj with the exact same intention, that we try our best to do it the right way, inshallah. So inshallah, we're going to start. I do see, mashallah, at least most people, I have Umar, mashallah, I have Noura, so those are all our local and also recurring travelers. They have done Umrah before. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from you all. If we have, I believe, Juan and also a number that is not identified to me. So if you can really quickly introduce yourself, and then inshallah we'll go from there, since we are limited. Yani we are only 7 people, I believe, or 8 people now. Okay, so Juan, are you from Raleigh, from North Carolina, or out of state?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Yeah, I'm from Raleigh.
Oh, from Raleigh. Okay, great. MashaAllah ta'ala. Okay, and all right. So inshallah, since you are from Raleigh, we should have it, inshallah, even easier. So I think everyone, I believe, on the call is local. So it's great. So let's start, inshallah. So as you can see, inshallah, those who have gone with us before, we trying to enhance the presentation every time. So as you can see, this is the journey of a lifetime, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from you all. Inshallah, let's go, Hassan, to the next slide. Okay, so inshallah ta'ala, what I'm doing now, since I got to know, I'm familiar with the participants tonight, So, Juan, have you gone to Umrah before?
No, this is my first time.
First time. Okay. So, inshallah ta'ala, we'll go through the slides. And since Noura and Umar has gone to Umrah before, we'll go through them and then allow more of time for questions, clarification, especially from your side, since this is your first time, inshallah. And then the recording will also help for those who were not able to be or to join us. So the Umrah, inshallah, is very easy compared to Hajj. Just to make it easy, just put a big 3 points in your mind that we must do, which is the intention. That's the niyyah that you see right there. Then we do the tawaf, which is the 3 circles around the Kaaba. And then we do the sa'i, which is the walk that we do between the 2 mountains of Safa and Marwa. That is it. Those are the pillars of Umrah. They must be done. They cannot be forsaken. They cannot be rectified. They physically have to be done. So that's the pillars. Now we go into the branches, which is the obligatory acts. So the very first thing is the niyyah, the intention, which we said that is one of the pillars. So inshallah ta'ala, we are going to access the train in our trip. So what we will do, we will inshallah board the train. As it's, we can do the niyyah as we board it, we get settled and everything, we do the niyyah, because the miqat comes right after, like 5 minutes or 7 minutes after. So for you not to get overwhelmed, we will do it right there while you're relaxed and ready. Of course, we'll go more details what we do before, but the preparation will take place all back in the hotel. I will not overwhelm you with it now because it's going to be very overwhelming and you're gonna forget anyway. So the preparation, we will do a workshop, physical workshop in Medina, where we walk together step by step, get you right like fresh, like a day before we embark on the journey. It's fresh in your mind. And we will be there in the hotel. I'll tell you exactly what to do, what to get yourself prepared with. Assuming everything is ready, now you're in the train, you are ready to take the niyyah, the intention. And this starts with you saying, Labbaika Allahumma Umrah, as you can see on the slide. And then inshallah, and this is for both male and female. If you're doing the Umrah on behalf of someone else, you just name that person, Labbaik Allahumma Umrah an, on behalf of such and such. However, I highly recommend that you do the Umrah on your behalf first, since you're crossing the ocean. It's a great worship act that you do it for yourself first. And then when you're in Mecca and you want to do extra Umrahs, you can do it on behalf of someone else. Now, there is a male and a female preparation. So the male, they must take off their regular clothes and put on the 2 pieces of clothes, which we call the izar, the bottom part, and the rida, which is the top part. They cannot wear shoes or socks that cover the top of their feet. They must wear a footwear that mainly exposes the top of their feet, toes, and ankles. So that is it for male. So when I say 2 pieces, it means only those 2 pieces, which means that no underwear is to be worn under those 2 pieces. Female can wear any loose fitting decent dress covering the entire body except the face and the hands. Now, during the state of Ihram, when we say state of Ihram, by the way, it means when we say the second, we say the niyyah, the intention. The intention, when we say Labbaik Allahumma Umrah, this is where it starts. Exactly, you can compare it with prayer, salah, when you say Allahu Akbar and you start your prayer. So during the state of ihram, meaning while you are in your umrah, pilgrims, male and females, cannot trim or shave their hair. They cannot clip nails. They cannot use perfume or cologne. They cannot kill or hunt animals. They cannot cover their face or head. They cannot have any sexual intercourse, or for that matter, they cannot have any type of intimacy between the two spouses, or having any marriage proposal or contracts. Yani it's not even mentioning to somebody something in regard of showing an interest. That cannot be. It has to be purely worship acts with that focus. Remember, just compare all this with you in Salah. When you say Allah Akbar and you get into your prayer, what's on your mind is connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Despite the distractions, you try your best. But then again, you don't talk to people. That's in Salah, of course. In Salah, more restrictions. You don't propose to somebody. You don't say something that would indicate an interest. You don't bother with any surrounding around you. However, the restrictions in Umrah are a little bit different, but it does have its restriction. So inshallah ta'ala, we can go to the next slide. So this is a video that Hassan attached. That would be great for you guys to, the male, of course, for male brothers, to take a look at it, go through it again and again and again, until you get very familiar with the, I don't want to say proper way of putting ihram, but a practical way that people have practiced over the years, and they came to just use it as a way where it allows you with some movements and flexibility. So definitely take your time, go through the video, repeat it again, so you can get to the hang of the proper way or the practical way of putting on your ihram. However, at the end, any way you put it on is Islamically accepted. It's just, this is more for convenience and for you to feel a little bit comfortable and flexible, that's all. So we can go inshallah to the next.
We'll send out the playlist afterward, inshallah. The Umrah,
Okay.
how to put on Umrah.
Okay, great, inshallah. So now just visualize with me that you are in the train and you said, Labbaik Allahumma Umrah. You started your intention. And then right after you say the talbiyah. The talbiyah is that after you say the intention, you pronounce and you say, Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, Labbaik la sharika laka Labbaik. إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. This is how you get your intention intact. So the scholar said that at least one time that you must do in order to get it intact. Then it is highly recommended that most of your dhikr and remembrance of Allah would be repeating the same verbiage, the same language, the same dhikr or zikr that you just see on the screen, which is Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik. This dhikr and remembrance of Allah is to be repeated again and again throughout our train journey, when we get off the train, when we continue. Of course, we're not going to be able to be like a machine, Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik all the time. Of course, you're gonna get sleepy a little bit, you're gonna doze off, you're gonna have to eat, you're gonna have to drink, you're gonna have to snack on something and relax. So definitely that is doable. But whenever you remember, you start again to repeat this talbiyah. This keeps going on and on and on until you get to Kaaba, and we get to the corner of the black stone and we start the very first round, very first tawaf. This is where the talbiyah stops and it ends over there. Now, we are on the train again, and we are making talbiyah. And after we do the first talbiyah, there is an extra thing. It's not mandatory, but an extra thing some of the scholars added to make a condition. And that is to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if an emergency happens to me, that I can quit on my Umrah and travel back to the US without me having to sacrifice a kafara, or to sacrifice a sheep, to slaughter a sheep or what have you. Why? Because you said this condition. Allahumma mahilli haythu habastani. Oh Allah, allow me to get out of the state of ihram wherever you prevent me, wherever, at any place and time that an emergency happened to me by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that forced me out of this worship act. So you get out of it, you travel back to the US, you don't have to sacrifice a sheep, but you still have to go back later on at whatever convenient time comes to you within that same year, and repeat the Umrah. It's like very similar to the prayer. You get into the prayer, an emergency happens that forces you out of the Salah. You get out, you attend to the emergency, and then whenever the time allows, you're not off the hook. You have to go back and do your prayer. However, you don't have to sacrifice anything, and you don't have to pay any fidya or expiation, as they call it. Next, inshallah. So now, inshallah, the train gets to the station, we get off, we go through the station, and then we go, inshallah ta'ala, on our bus. We are still doing the talbiyah. We short distance from the station, train station, to the hotel. We arrive at the hotel. This means that we have arrived to Mecca. So arriving at Mecca, when arriving Mecca, so we arrive at the hotel. Hassan will help you navigate through checking in, and you get your room, you get on your room, you put your luggage, you get yourself comfortable. You're at peace now that you have a settlement, the place where we are there. So it is the sunnah to take a ghusl if possible and go to the Masjid Haram. So we will give you time. Okay, we will meet back in the lobby so we can go together to perform the Umrah at a certain time. So meanwhile, while you're in, you can take off your ihram, the clothing that you have on, and take a fresh shower without using any fragments or anything, just like a hot shower. Get yourself refreshed, or a cold shower, whatever you prefer. You get yourself comfortable, refresh yourself. You put on ihram again, your clothes, and or you can replace them for that matter. You can put a fresh ones if you want. Most people, alhamdulillah, because of the train, you don't get your clothes dirty. So they just put on the same clothing. And then we meet in the lobby, and then we go together as a group to the Haram. Now, upon entering, when we get close, we get you again, every step of the way, we get you comfortable. We tell you again, we're going to do this. Remember, we're going to do that. So we keep refreshing your mind of what we do. So you can read this and you can memorize it ahead of time. This is when we enter. Again, so far, you have done only one pillar, the must, which is the intention. Then you have done a sub category of that, which is a wajib, an obligatory act, which is talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, only once. Then the rest of the talbiyah would become a sunnah, recommended act. The following is also a recommended act, that upon entering the masjid, you say the following dua. أعوذ بالله العظيم وبوجهه الكريم وسلطانه القديم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد. And then you say Allahumma افتح لي أبواب رحمتك. Next, inshallah. This is upon entering the masjid. Now we are still saying the talbiyah. Remember, we have not got to the corner yet. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. And we're going, inshallah, into, as you see in the picture, the people going around the Kaaba. We call this sahin. The sahin is like the plate, like the surrounding, the round space around the Kaaba. You can always just memorize this word sahin because you're going to see it all the time on the signs, on the posters. So we'll navigate through the traffic. We'll see how you can view Kaaba from before, because that is a beautiful moment of life. It's a breathtaking. It's so memorable that you don't want to miss out on it. We take you slowly so you can take your time. You're not anxious. You're relaxed. You make dua when you see the Kaaba. There is really no specific dua that I know that you're reading in some books and online, or you say this, you say that. All these are recommended zikr, but there is nothing really stated authentically, like that was authenticated or authenticated through the chain of hadith that you say when you see the Kaaba. However, whatever dua comes to your mind, you can say. Some scholars said that you say, "Oh Allah, this is very overwhelming. You know exactly what I have been, asking and wanting and really begging for. You are my Lord, and you know exactly what's in my heart and what's exactly in my mind. And there are so many things, and there is no time while I'm marching and going to the corner of the Black Stone to remember, because I'm overwhelmed, to remember to say all these things. Oh Allah, you know what's on my mind and what's on my heart, or what's in my heart. So, oh Allah, with your mercy, accept them all and grant them all for me, inshallah." That would be a comprehensive dua that you can say, inshallah. Next, inshallah. So now we get close to the corner. As we're walking, we get to the corner of the Black Stone. Okay. Now, before we enter, we will prepare you how to wear your ihram, inshallah. This is what we call here that, the raml and the ittiba', which is exposing your right shoulder for male. And then the raml is when you kind of jog or fast pace go around the Kaaba, the very first 3 rounds. So again, inshallah, we'll go through this together so you don't get overwhelmed. But we march now and we walk to the Black Stone, inshallah. So this is an overall slide that you can see where you have the door of the Kaaba. You have that extended piece. This is the Black Stone corner. Then you have the station of Maqam Ibrahim. Then you have that corner, which is the Yemeni corner. You will have more slides that show them way more obvious. And then you have the Hatim. The Hatim is that half circle that you see right here. This has been always throughout centuries kept as a tradition. It was even during the time of the Jahiliyyah, before Islam came, when the people of Quraysh built the Kaaba, or renovated the Kaaba and built it well. They did not have enough funds to continue that oval shape. And they have taken an oath that they will not put a brick to build the Kaaba with a haram money, with a money that was taken in a wrongful way, whether abusing others or throughout any illegal means. So the funds were exhausted, so they were not able to complete building the Kaaba. And that tradition was kept throughout centuries, even though we had legacy and dynasty when Islam was at the top, but still they kept that legacy. just to keep it very traditional. And up to today, you still have the Hatim not completed. However, because it's part of the Kaaba, we don't pray inside it. And you will see it now in these pictures. So with this picture, you see with the 3 circles, one circle shows the Yemeni corner. And then one circle, the next circle, the black stone, and then the station of Ibrahim, Sayyidina Ibrahim. Always associate the black stone corner with the door of the Kaaba. But inshallah ta'ala, we will have more marks to make you very comfortable that this is where the black stone, inshallah ta'ala. Now, this is kind of live picture of how, mashallah, people do the tawaf around, of course, in fast pace. Now you have the Yemeni corner. We start at the black stone. You can notice the black stone has a lot of writings on it from top to bottom. They have written on it, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, indicating that this is the black stone corner. So this is where we are going to start the circles, the tawaf, around the Kaaba. Now, this is where Talbiyah stops. This is when we stop saying Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik. We are going to be far, as you can see the slides, like the A. We are going to be facing the corner, but we are not going to go physically as a group deep inside where the black stone is, because it's absolutely impossible to take a huge group into that corner. So what we will do it from far, facing that corner, saying Allahu Akbar or Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and we start the first round. As you can see, that puts us in the first round. So now we have, as male, our shoulders, the right shoulders exposed. We start by first round, second round, third round with fast pace. We call it Ramil. And then we finish 4, 5, 6, 7, normal walk. Okay. Now, from when we start and we say the start of the tawaf, we say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. That counts as number 1. And you start with any dua. So you face the black stone, you extend your hand, because we cannot touch it. We're just gonna extend it and say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. And that puts you in your first tawaf, inshallah. Now you can say any dua, any dhikr, inshallah, comes to mind. You can read it through some of the books. You can say it from your own heart, whatever you like, inshallah. So we go around until we get to that corner right before the black corner, which is the Yemeni corner. This is a live video of how it really looks. This is, in the easy part, mashallah, where you don't have, it's not extremely crowded, because it's during the day. If you can notice, the sun is all the way up. So when usually it's not too hot, it's very crowded. So again, these are all illustrations of where the black stone corner is, how people take, go around it. So it's all illustrations, inshallah. We're going to start from here, 1, 2, 3 with fast pace, and then we're going to continue. We'll keep reminding ourselves. Now, between the Yemeni corner and the black stone corner, we're going to say, ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. And we keep saying ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Again, this is sunnah. It's recommended. So far, all you have done is 1 pillar of intention. You have done 1 obligation act of the Talbiyah, Labbaik Allahumma, and 1 obligation act of the clothing, the ihram, the white 2 pieces for men, and loose clothes, no flashy clothes for women, and with the restrictions, no perfume, no clipping, all these the obligations, inshallah ta'ala. So now this repeats itself. We keep doing this again and again, until we finish 7 rounds. And when we finish the 7 rounds, inshallah, on the 7th round, we do not face the black stone, wave at it, and say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, because that puts us in round 8, which we do not want to do. So on round 7, we're gonna finish that circle, bypass, we're gonna just pass the black stone and keep going. And we're gonna start going at the outskirts of the tawaf to go to the station of Maqam Ibrahim. As we are walking and going, we are going to say وَاتَّخِذُوا, this is a verse in Surah Al-Baqarah in our holy book. وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى. This is Maqam Ibrahim. As we walk, we are repeating what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran. After you've finished the 7 rounds, go and march toward the station of Sayyidina Ibrahim. وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, which means, and take the station of Ibrahim as a place of prayer. So we are going to submit to this instruction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, here it says, if it is crowded, so it's always crowded, 24/7, throughout the year, throughout the time. Subhanallah, mashallah, this is the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they don't allow people, which is really good. In the past, people were so stubborn and they would just pray in the middle of the circle and people would trip over them. A lot of abuse happened and injuries. So the guards don't allow this anymore. They have designated area in the back. So we go to that designated area. Excuse me, it's in the back and it's facing the station of Ibrahim. So we pray in that. We make the station of Ibrahim between us and between the Kaaba. We see the Kaaba and we see the station of Ibrahim. And then we pray our 2 rak'ahs there. We pray a couple of rak'ahs. We recite Surah Al-Ikhlas in the first rak'ah, as you can see here. We recite Surah Al-Kafirun, in the first rak'ah. And then we recite Surah Al-Ikhlas in the second rak'ah. Then we finish. Of course, we gather ourselves together. We're still intact in one group, inshallah. And we're still going every step of the way together in one group. After we finish, we give enough time for everyone to relax after all these 7 rounds. Then we go to a station right behind us of Zamzam. We drink Zamzam. We have plenty amount of water. We kind of soak ourselves with it. It's a blessed water. That Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, Zamzam water is for what it is drunk for, meaning that you make a dua and you say, Allah, please accept my dua, and you drink. So inshallah, your dua will be accepted. And then Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that it is really sufficient for you as food and nutrition, and it is also a cure from many of the diseases that people see. So it's very healthy, it's very blessed water. We drink from it, we soak ourselves with it, we pour on our heads, on our hands, on our face. Inshallah ta'ala, we just get some blessings from this water. And then inshallah ta'ala, and this is also a recommended act, meaning that we definitely gonna do it, but it's not obligated, right? But we will do it, of course. We're gonna do every step of the way. Now we are going to go to, now we finished 2 major pillars. Remember the intention on the train, that's pillar number 1. We finished pillar number 2, which is the 7 rounds around the Kaaba. And what's under it was just a couple of obligations, and the rest were all highly recommended. The obligation of the talbiyah and the obligation of wearing the clothes or clothing that we put on. Everything else from dhikr and remembrance and the dua, everything is just recommended acts. Drinking, praying 2 rak'ahs behind the station of Ibrahim, drinking Zamzam water, soaking yourself with it, all recommended acts. Now we are going to do the last pillar, which is the sa'i, which is the walk that we do between the 2 mountains of Safa and Marwa. So that's called a sa'i between the Safa and Marwa, inshallah. So we start walking toward the Mount of Safa. And this is the farthest distance. So we have, enough time. We're going to walk and walk and walk, inshallah, together. While walking, we're going to recite another verse from Surah Al-Baqarah from the Quran. We're going to recite, إن الصفا والمروة من شعائر الله فمن حج البيت أو اعتمر فلا جناح عليه أن يطوف بهما وَمَنْ تَطَوَّعَ خَيْرًا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ شَاكِرٌ عَلِيمٌ. You have the verse right there. You have the way that you can, inshallah, pronounce it, and you have the translations for it. As we reach to the top, we say, نَبْدَأُ بِمَا بَدَأَ اللَّهُ بِهِ. We start with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to begin with, inshallah. We face the Kaaba, and we're going to do some recommendations acts. Again, this verse is recommended, and also this dua is recommended. Both are recommended acts. Okay, now we're gonna, inshallah, go to the top of the Safa Mount. We're gonna face the Kaaba. We're gonna take a corner. We are going to do, this is where it says on the sign, the Safa starts right here. So this is inshallah ta'ala. And Hassan gave you pictures of both floors, the ground floor and the second floor. This is the ground floor right here where you see. So that's the main one. And then if it's too crowded, we might end up going to the, we try our best to walk you through the first one. Okay, so now we face the Kaaba and we say this dua. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulk wa lahul hamd, yuhyi wa yumeet wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir, la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, anjaza wa'dah wa nasara abdah wa hazama al-ahzaba wahdah. So this dua is what you will see. You will say when you face the Kaaba. You will say it 3 times. And you will, inshallah ta'ala, make your personal dua afterwards. We give you enough time, inshallah, to say it. You focus on it, you say your personal dua, and then we start walking and going toward Al-Marwa. This is considered to be number 1 path for us. So we walk, and as you can see in the picture, when we get to a place where you see those green lights at the top in the ceiling, it means this is where we are going to jog. So we are for men. So actually this act is really for male and female, but in the past it used to be completely segregated, where it was limited amount of people. So Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was able to give time for the brothers and for the sisters. But ever since it became crowded throughout centuries, just out of etiquette, it became more of an etiquette that men would run and women don't have to run, so they don't have to expose their bodies in front of strangers or anything. So it was accepted throughout centuries by the scholars that sisters would just continue walking normally and brothers would just rush through and walk, not walk, but actually run, not even jog, but actually run through this space, which is the green lights. As they run, and as sisters would walk, they say, Rabbi ghfir warham wa anta al-a'azzul akram. That's again another recommended dua. So we go through this, and then we slow down to wait for the sisters to catch up with us. Then we continue walking until we get to the other side, to the next mountain, which is Al-Marwa. We do the same thing that we did on the Safa. We stand close on it if possible, or close to it. And then we face the Kaaba. We won't see the Kaaba from there because the structures doesn't allow us to do so. And we make the same dua and 3 times, and we make a personal dua. So as you can see here, it says that we ascend on it, we face the Kaaba, we say the same dhikr, and we make our own. And then number 4, repeating this 3 times, which is the same dua. And this is considered from one mountain to another. This is considered and counted as one. So you don't have to do a full round for that to be counted as one. Just half round, which is one path. This is number 1. Then as we go back from Al-Marwa to Al-Safa again, as you can see here in the picture, when you are going back, this is counted for you as number 2. So half circle is 1. When you complete that circle, going back to complete that circle, it's counted as 2. And we run through the green lights again, and then we go on top of As-Safa again. We do the exact same thing, and this becomes a repeated act as you go back as number 3, you go back as number 4, you go back as number 5, you go back as number 6, and finally you go back as number 7. So you start with Al-Safa, mount or mountain, and you end with Al-Marwa, mountain. We end at Al-Marwa mountain, and we exit from the nearest gate from there. And this completes the 3rd pillar of Umrah. Remember, first pillar was your intention on the train. Second pillar was the 7 rounds around Kaaba. And the 3rd pillar is this walk between the 2 mountains. Now you finished all the 3 pillars. Your Umrah is intact. You've done the obligations of the Talbiyah. You've done the obligation of putting your clothes on, the ihram clothes. You've done the obligation of refraining from all the prohibited acts. Then you've done, then there is, and then the rest of the stuff that we did were all recommended. There is one more obligated act, not a pillar, but an obligated act, which you see here on the screen. And that is to shave or haircut. Maybe Hassan, in the future, just to enhance, you put a picture of shaved heads for the brothers, and also a haircut, just a normal haircut. Both are accepted, but there is one that is more preferable than the other. And then you would have an artificial picture of back of a sister with her hair. And maybe if you can find it, where you put just a measurement of a fingertip to cut it straight from the bottom. That would add more of an illustration, inshallah. So we do shave the hair, or we do haircut. This an obligation, and this obligation actually ends our Umrah. And we go from the restricted state, which we call the state of Ihram, to the state of hell, unrestricted, no more restrictions. Upon completing all the steps above, he or she is now out of the state of Ihram and now back to regular state of hell. Allowance, no restrictions, which allows him, her to go back to normal state of activity without any restrictions. And as you can see here, inshallah, Umrah Mubarak. Mubarak, inshallah. So Hassan, another addition, that as you have itch at the end of Umrah, you have an itch at the end of Mubarakah, because that's feminine. So inshallah ta'ala, that would end it. As we walk back, inshallah ta'ala, an H, not an A. So it's similar to Umrah, inshallah. So we walk back to the to the hotel. Brothers, usually we found it very practical. Go with Hassan to barber shops on the way back to do to shave their hair or to cut their haircut. And I usually lead the sisters back to the hotel where they can do their haircut. Sisters do not shave their hair, but rather just do a haircut of a fingertip or shorter, up to them, inshallah ta'ala. That would get you out of your Umrah and you're back. You can take a normal shower with soap, with shampoos, get yourself refreshed. You can clip nails again. You can do whatever you want, inshallah ta'ala. And that ends the Umrah, inshallah. That's why we said Umrah is very easy. It's not as complicated as the Hajj rituals. So inshallah ta'ala, that ends it, and we can open the floor for any questions that you have, inshallah. Let me know if you have questions. Just unmute yourself, announce your name so I can know exactly who is talking, and then ask your question, inshallah.
You've done a great job. Nobody has the questions.
Okay, inshallah, it's a great job. Or it's more, I confused everyone, but it's all good, inshallah. So, inshallah, let me know if you have anything on mind, or if you want to extra comment, those who have gone Umrah before, if I have missed anything, just give a reminder and let us know. And as I said, inshallah, we're going to go through this again in Medina to refresh it and to be physically together in person, inshallah. And for any personal questions, usually we answer them separately there. So whether male or female, if you have some personal circumstances that might disrupt this process for some reason or another, then we can talk about it privately, inshallah, because each case is different than the other, and we see how we can, inshallah ta'ala. But the good news is there is really nothing that prevents you from performing your Umrah act. So it's all doable. We just need to go around it, inshallah. Unless, of course, may Allah forbid, that an emergency happens again, remember, and then you have to travel back to the US. That's a different situation where you have to physically come back and do your Umrah again. But besides this, everything that comes up our path, we would still be able to rectify and to go around it, so we can get your Umrah to be valid and intact, inshallah. So that's the good news, inshallah. So again, it's all yours, inshallah. I think we learned from experiences not to overwhelm you in the US workshop, and maybe go into more details when we are together in Medina, because it's closer to the journey and you will be more familiar and more oriented with Medina and the situation and how to put on your ihram, when to get ready. So you'll be like living the incident. So again, I'll give you a minute or two to stretch. If you have questions about strictly religious questions about Umrah, then we can take it from you. If not, then we can just ask Hassan if he wants to dive into the logistics, inshallah ta'ala. So we'll give you a minute, inshallah, like 60 seconds to go through your notes if you have any questions or clarifications.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Can you announce your name, inshallah? Dawood?
Yeah, yes. No, salam alaikum.
Dawood, you are from North Carolina or out of state?
I'm from Arizona.
Arizona, mashallah, mashallah. Good to have you, brother Dawood.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity and for all the God's work that you guys are doing.
Alhamdulillah. We are honored to have you, inshallah ta'ala. We join families together, inshallah, between North Carolina and Arizona, inshallah.
Yeah. So my question is, are we going to have access to this PowerPoint that you just went through? Because it's a lot of information there.
Yeah, of
or
course.
Are you going to
Of
be?
course.
Are you going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be going through the process with us when we get to Medina and when we get to Mecca?
Yes, both ways, inshallah. Hassan will share this with you, and Hassan is recording this actually, so it's recording, so you can always go back to the video and repeat it part by part until you get very comfortable with it, inshallah. Especially how to put on ihram. That video will show you exactly how to put on ihram. Inshallah, we'll make sure that you are very comfortable before you start the Umrah and you have all your questions answered, inshallah.
All right, thank you.
Of course, inshallah. Who do we have on that is not from North Carolina besides Brother Dawood? I have two iPhone IDs, so I'm not sure if they are local or. So I have iPhone Muhammad. iPhone Muhammad, are you a brother from North Carolina or out of state?
I am North Carolina, inshallah. From North Carolina.
MashaAllah. Ahlan wa sahlan, ya marhaban.
Yeah, I think we know each other, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
I'm gonna be with you, inshallah.
Okay, great, inshallah. We are honored to have you, inshallah. Then
Allah.
we have iPhone, just iPhone. So just if let us know the name and also which state you are from, inshallah. iPhone, maybe that's all I can see, just iPhone, no name. This is Abu Umar, Texas. Okay, inshallah, Abu Umar, nice having you, and we are honored, inshallah ta'ala, to have you with us. You'll get to meet a lot of brothers and sisters from North Carolina because it's mainly from our state, but we are honored to have you and brother Dawood as well, and everyone from out of state, inshallah, can join, inshallah ta'ala, our ties together and bring this brotherhood and sisterhood together, inshallah. All right, those the names that we have. The rest, mashallah, are our brothers, so they're all here. Oh, mashallah. Okay, Umar says that this is brother Ayman, Abu Umar. Okay, so Abu Umar, Ayman. So Ayman, Abu Umar, we don't consider you a Texan, brother. We consider you a North Carolinian always. So brother Ayman always was here part of our North Carolina family. So brother Dawood, so far you are the special person, inshallah ta'ala, from Arizona. So we're gonna treat you extra, inshallah ta'ala, with extra attention, inshallah. Inshallah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Of course, my dear brother, of course. We are all here with you, inshallah, and for you, because we're all familiar with each other. So you and others who are out of state will be special, inshallah, special guests to us, and we will be honored to have you with us. Inshallah, the
Yes.
rest, I have you all. Barakallah feekum.
Yeah, I'm sure there's one more person from Arizona. Yeah, he did not join this
Okay,
meeting, but yeah, but
okay,
there's one more brother from
oh,
Tucson in Arizona.
okay, inshallah. You can ask him to review the recording, and if he has any questions, he can still, inshallah ta'ala, get with us later on, inshallah.
Yeah, we'll do, inshallah.
Inshallah. Hassan, it's all yours, my dear brother.
Jazakumullahu khairan. Okay, inshallah, let me share the screen and then we'll start the logistics, and let me stop the recording and restart it so we can